Welcome everybody to Documentary Week. Jake, how are you doing in Documentary Week? How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling great.
Today we are going to discuss a documentary that you have loved for a few years. You've talked about it. What documentary would you like to talk about today?
It's the 2014 documentary titled Barkley Marathons. Have you heard of it?
I have not only heard of it, I've seen it.
Oh, cool.
And so I have my opinions about it, and they're positive. I mean,
Okay.
this is not a roast of the Barkley Marathon.
It's not one of your top five though of all time.
No, it's not, but it's good.
Interesting.
What's it about? What's this?
Well, it's about a gentleman by the name, I know he goes by the name of Lazarus, and he put up this marathon race for 40 runners a year, and he does it in late March, early April. It's really hard to find out when he's going to do it. He does that on purpose because he wants the people who really are serious, who want to do this, elite runners out there
Every year,
except on 2020, of course, because
Right.
COVID. But every year they do it, and it's 100 miles. Right, it's in Tennessee, up in the mountains, and not too far from where the gentleman who killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Gentlemen,
Not gentleman, I should say gentleman, but the killer who did it, who escaped. His last name was Ray, right?
So they based this marathon on this attempted
escape that happened in 1977
of Martin Luther
King's killer, assassin. And so, and this guy, what happened was he escaped, and he only got like 12 miles away from the prison, and they didn't find him for like 54 hours. So this guy Lazarus goes, you know what, I could have went further than 12 miles. And so he goes, you know, I'm gonna put this run together with a couple of my buddies, and he eventually made it to about 100 miles. I think the first race was in 1986, and it's 5 loops of 20 miles. So it's let's see here. It's, what did I say? 60 hours. So how many days is that? Like 3 days, I guess. So quite a long time. And so so this documentary takes you to this, in Tennessee, and you see these runners, and they start anytime between midnight and 8 o'clock. You hear like this conch horn goes off, and you have 1 hour to prepare. You can hear it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So then you think, oh shoot, I got to get up in the front at 2 in the morning to start running this race. First loop is clockwise, second is counter, third is clockwise, fourth is counter, and the fifth one is whoever was in first place will decide if it's going to be counter.
Why? It's so this marathon, that many people try out for, or something they apply for.
They have to write an essay to get in there, Ruben. So remember we talking about essays? There's one reason why these short.
So they apply through an essay to get in. So not everybody gets in.
No, sir.
They get in to go to this grueling marathon, absolutely brutal marathon.
Hills, rocks.
My question is, why are people wanting to watch this documentary? What's the appeal? I mean, you love documentaries.
It's Lazarus, the guy who puts it on. He's funny. He's hilarious. He's eccentric. It only costs $1.60 to sign up for this marathon. Only 40 people could do it. And when you show up, you have to have a license if it's your first time to show.
So I'm trying to understand. So the documentary's appeal is this guy who
for sure. And plus, looking at the actual location. So sometimes they change the location, the way the course, but just thinking, man, who does this? Who wants to do this? What kind of people? Only 15 people have ever finish the race in 60 hours. I think only one. If you do 3 loops, it's called a fun run, right? They call it a fun run, and I think only one woman's done the 3 loops. But to do 5 loops in 60 hours, only 15 people have ever done it. And so just to see these type of people, Ruben, and you see them, and you go, wow, who does this? Who wants to do this? But of course, Lazarus makes it fun because you see. So one year he'll say, I need some socks. I need some tube socks. So everybody who comes in, give me your $1.60 plus a pair of tube socks, because I need some tube socks, or a sweater. Everyone gets in a sweater, or underwear, whatever he needs, wherever he's running low on at that time.
Okay,
and so it's funny, it's a little quirky.
I guess for me, I had and it's been a few years since I've seen it.
Sure,
I had a different reaction as to why it was an intriguing documentary. To me, it was more of the race itself that was fascinating to see. So many people attempting to. A lot of people don't even finish.
Most don't.
They don't finish, and it's a fascinating study to see these people attempting and
Yeah.
wanting for all over the world
All over the world.
to enter this race, and you go back and forth and it doubles back in on itself, this strange marathon that is brutal. And I guess for me it was fascinating to see it almost reminded me of Into Thin Air, the book about Mount Everest. Part of the appeal of that book and movie is that more of the book is that so many people try to climb Mount Everest because it's there, because of the appeal of its scale. And to me, that's a fascinating psychological study.
Yeah.
I guess that's why I enjoyed the Barking
No,
Marathon.
that's a big no. Not to discount that. I just love the guy, but you're right though. I did ask myself that question. Why do I like it so much? And I agree with you. I like to see how man can be pushed to, how far can they be pushed? And in this, you see how far they can be pushed. And for example, water is only placed in 2 different places in one loop. Like, so if you go doing your first loop, there's going to be water in 2 places within the 20 miles. And it could be anywhere. They run in the dark. They run during the daytime. It doesn't matter when, but it's dangerous, and some people get hurt and they pull out. So like you said, Ruben, it's fascinating because all these people from all around the world want to be part of it, and most people actually get denied. They only take 40 runners a year. So but that's a big piece of it. It was enjoyed because the marathon is interesting, obviously, but the film itself, it couldn't have been. I don't think it could have been so wonderful if they didn't have this quirky dude who runs it, right? Yeah. So I like that part. Okay. So they're both pieces together make it why it's in my top 5 actually. Because I mean that's one of the things I do as teachers. We talk about this. Why we're even doing this week? Because we don't just teach. We have interesting things that we do. We like music. We like baseball. We like sports. And I think you and I we enjoy documentaries.
It's a good documentary. It sounds like it's your favorite documentary, and that is fine. Check it out. Don't forget to tell us what your favorite documentary is, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.